Hail everyone, welcome to Geek Tropology. And yesterday was Star Trek Day, or as Nerdrotic and Doomcock said, it was Shatner Day. Why? Because Shatner owned Viacom CBS on Twitter. But I'm not here to speak about that. I don't want to touch that. I don't want to care about that infighting. I want to speak about my memories of Star Trek. And, well, it was a long, long time ago. 1991 or 2, I don't know. I was born in 1988. So this series was rerunning for a long time on national television. We had these free airwaves for the whole country, and well, we all sat and saw Bonanza. We all saw I Dream of Jenny, or Walker, Ranger of Texas, or Kung Fu, or Bewitched, Charlie's Angels, and such. But there was a time when, at lunchtime, when I get home from, I don't know, playing around, going to this daycare that was not a couple, like 10 blocks from my grandparents' house. So I was four. I was four, and I still remember. Estas son las aventuras del USS Enterprise. Yeah, it was in Spanish. It was in Spanish on Channel 4, I think. And I'm getting nostalgic because that dining room don't longer exist, and those times of child wonder no longer exist either. So, but I don't want to be sad because you know I I do trust that we can prevail on this situation, no matter how much against us the odds seems. Uh, My Kirk is terrible. My my Scott is terrible. My Spock was quite good for a time. I was born into Spock mode. I have I'm in the spectrum. I have Asperger's, so from my early childhood I had to learn to be human. To I had to get that bad influence that Spock had, that made him a little bit more emotional and a little bit more flexible. Because when I was a kid, I was a robot. I was a goddamn robot. Uh, You could sit me with a lot of toys, with Legos, with I don't know, with constructs or mechanos, and I will start building something and start playing, and I will get these cardboard dishes from my grandmother's kitchen to join a couple of toilet paper rolls, that nice cardboard uh, roll that comes inside, and do my own enterprise, and play in the garden like it was space. And I didn't care about the Romulans or the Klingons. I care about the Enterprise. I love the humming from the consoles and the from the doors, and well, on the Spanish translation, we had these harsh cuts whenever anyone spoke, because I don't know, they didn't want the original audio to play in the background, but other times we had this lower pitch noise, like for instance, on the transporter room, on the English version is on the Spanish version was it was it was different, okay. And I don't know, man. It was different. How can I tell you? It was different. And in my country, there was not at all any toy for Star Trek. We had Star Wars toys. We didn't have Star Trek toys. And my mom loved, loved McCoy. She still sometimes say, uh, ay, ese McCoy siempre me hacía reír. Meaning, oh, that McCoy, he always made me laugh. And she says like she's remembering the uh I don't know, this voice actor. I know McCoy had great lines on English, and I'm not taking away from the original, but I'm a doctor, not a mechanic, or I'm a doctor, not a geologist, or whatever. We have a little more. He was quite more snarky on our version, but I do love the original, the English cast for Scotty, because in Spanish it was just boring. It's okay. Well, the oh my, I didn't got the reference on Super Mario Bros. U until a lot later. Spock, the voice was almost the same, and I'm just remembering the señor Spock. Dígame, ¿cómo podríamos salir de esta engorrosa situación? It was different, okay? That's Kirk, by the way. If you didn't get that, we kind of had that prose that I don't know. Kirk has these slow cuts, and it's like he's not thinking what he's going to say, but like he is intoning a lot harder. And our Spanish translation got that perfectly. I have seen the new translation. I hate it. Sorry, I hate it. I just hate it. I When I see the show on Netflix, I go for the original English voice casting because god damn it, the new one is crap, man. And I guess most people remember the menagerie or that kind of episodes, but I remember Who Mourns for Adonais the most because that speech from Kirk to this female scientist, this lieutenant. What can I say? He says exactly what I have been trying to do my whole life. Just be part of humanity, of of this species. And I wasn't born like you. I wasn't born going full on human mode. I was in Vulcan mode for most of my life. I had to learn facial micro expressions, and I had to learn to joke and to understand sarcasm, and to get when someone is mad about something is not about me, it's about something. And these cues, these little cues that humans have that are it was so alien to me. For me, the expressions that I remember understanding was this almost stoic look of my grandfather that meant that everything was right. And I remember the dinner table, and I remember picking picking up the rest of sauce from spaghetti with a piece of bread while the theme it was playing on the TV, and my grandfather was speaking about something, and I didn't care because I had this bit of sauce to be picked, and Kirk starts his speech, and my grandfather stops talking and goes to the right angle to see the TV, and he just sits in this position. And when it's over, he says, sorry, I'll say it in Spanish. Anita, en este país nos estamos perdiendo de esos valores. Meaning, my grandmother, her name is Ana Lucia. Anita, in this country we need those those values. God damn it, I'm emotional now. And yes, we can't run from each other even if we wanted to. We are all humans. We and that's my philosophy. And yeah, I'm not even guys. I know it's fun remembering Kirk fighting the alien lizard or the fart cloud that has been so many times replicated, or the menagerie with Captain Pike being in this robotic chair. I remember being picking up spaghetti sauce from my plate and getting a revelation for how humanity should act as a whole. And behind that speech was Kirk. I know it was Roddenberry who wrote that speech, but it was Captain James T. Kirk for me and for my grandfather. And I love that. I love the original series, and as I said in an earlier video, I only saw until the next generation. I never saw the other series. I saw the original series, the original movies, the next generation, and that's all. That's all we had translated, I guess, in Fox on cable. There was the other series, but I didn't have cable. I had on 1992 the original series. That's what I had, and I remember Spock raising his eyebrow and saying, "Fascinating." And he was the only one that was not smiling and moving around. His arms was on his back, and he was serious, and I was like him, and I wanted to be like Kirk. Maybe like McCoy. My grandfather was a cartoonist and also a surgeon. So maybe maybe a bit like McCoy. That that kindness. To think that almost everyone remembers McCoy for his dead team, and not when these aliens were trying to take over the crew bodies. Those were not the evil ones, the good ones that were trying to build new robotic bodies. I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember the names. And McCoy actually took care that the bodies of the crew were stable. And yeah, I guess Spock was the only one that could harness that life form essence inside him, because Vulcans are stronger, are physically and mentally stronger. But the human bodies were decaying, and it was this terror inside of McCoy. He wanted to keep the aliens' lives, but he wanted to keep his crew alive even more. And yes, I know Kirk had a lot to do with this dilemma, but my grandfather explained to me McCoy's dilemma, because even though these aliens are quite ethereal at that moment, they can think, think and feel and reason, and they have a consciousness, and that means they are alive. So you must protect that life no matter what. When but when you are a physician, you have to take care of whoever is in the table first. And yes, you must not harm. That's the bow you take. But by letting these aliens use Kirk's body and Lieutenant body, I don't remember her. Sorry. Again, sorry. Letting that decay harm his patients was against anything he believed, and he had that dilemma on his mind throughout the whole episode. What else can I say? I was a kid, a years old kid, learning about complicated moral dilemmas with my grandfather through this series. That is Star Trek for me. Is sitting with my mom watching Next Generation and her saying that Picard was not that great. Believe it or not. And she didn't like the color on the uniforms that I remember clearly. And I putting this diadema on my eyes and running towards a wall. And now I remember that, and I remember the connection with my grandparents, and I remember staying up to watch the Wrath of Khan because it was too violent for normal broadcasting hours. But the one where they rescue whales, well, that one was on all the time. Gosh, that's all. That's all I want to remember, and that's all I want to keep inside me. All this culture war, better men than me are fighting this culture war. I just want to remember. Because right now we are losing our memories. And our memories are our strength, our identity. So I will keep going as I remember my grandparent, my grandfather telling me, we all are humans. We all bleed the same. We all get ill the same. We all die the same. No matter if you wear a poncho in Otavalo or you are in the most luxury hotel in Berlin, we all breathe, we all love, we all care, we all hurt, we all are humans. We all are humans, and that's all for me, at least. And I owe that to William Shatner. So for me also is Shatner Day, and I know this video won't get a single view, and I don't care. I love Star Trek because I have these old memories of my grandfather, and of that 14-inch TV on the dining room, and the narrator starting the show. And one day I want someone else to have that. So I'll stay here remembering. So when that person comes, I can pass on my memories. And both the series and that moment can keep living on. Hail the past, man. Hail the past. Because we are who we are because of it. So hail the past. Don't forget it. Keep it with you always. And that was a rant, and I'm not sorry. Live long and prosper. Happy Shatner's Day, everyone.